We're starting a deep dive today into a specific set of listener notes, and they cover a single, almost catastrophic family event.
It's a real microhistory.
It is. It's about the Crawford family, and it really shows how quickly a routine Christmas holiday trip can just spin into a profound life or death scenario.
And that forced an immediate redefinition of everything for them.
Exactly. Their priorities, their plans, all of it.
And what the sources really highlight here is not just that immediate tragedy, but the incredible, sustained logistical effort that's required when a crisis like this strikes so far from home.
Right, far from your support base. So we're looking at Eugene and his pregnant wife, Roberta. They're traveling with their toddler, Marcia, who's about 1.5.
And they're all heading toward Dodge City, Kansas for the holidays.
They were set to celebrate Christmas with Eugene's immediate family, so his parents, Leon and Winnie, his brother, LR, and his grandmother, Josie.
A simple, multi-generational gathering. That was the whole plan.
It was. And the confidence they had in their travel plans was, it was entirely justified.
Completely. Roberta wasn't due until March.
So there's this huge safety buffer.
Right, and that expectation of routine is what makes the immediate turn in this narrative so jarring, so heartbreaking.
They truly believed this trip was perfectly safe.
So our mission today is really to track that rapid descent, from holiday travelers to, a family in a hospital crisis.
And analyze the separation that followed, which lasted for months. And maybe most importantly, examine the extraordinary, relentless dedication it took from the extended family to eventually bring everyone home.
So let's look at that turning point. What was the exact moment that derailed their plans entirely?
It happened so suddenly, December 23rd.
Just before Christmas.
Roberta unexpectedly goes into premature labor, right there in Dodge City.
Wow.
Eugene rushes her to Trinity Hospital, and you have to imagine that shift from anticipating holiday dinner to delivering a baby months early. It must have been absolutely terrifying.
For both of them, especially knowing the baby was nowhere near full term.
And the delivery itself, it was a double event. Roberta gave birth to twin boys, David and Dwayne.
What's fascinating there is just understanding the sheer uphill battle those children faced.
Yeah.
Being born 3 months prematurely.
Yeah.
It instantly places them in a fight for their lives.
Especially given the medical context of the era.
Exactly. We
Yeah.
can't just gloss over that. Specialized neonatal intensive care, as we understand it now, was, it was virtually non-existent.
Or extremely rudimentary at best.
Sure.
So the hospital staff, they're dealing with a massive medical challenge, and the family is just thrust into this state of acute uncertainty.
And sadly, that uncertainty didn't last long for one of the boys.
No.
The narrative takes that devastating turn almost immediately. It defines their Christmas Eve forever.
While the family was just desperately hoping for a miracle, one of the twins, Dwayne, he passed away on the 24th of December.
Christmas Eve.
A profound loss, landing right in the middle of a day that should have been about celebration. What makes this detail so particularly crushing, though, according to the records, is the mother's isolation. Roberta was still hospitalized. She was confined to her bed from her own difficult delivery, and she didn't get the opportunity to see or hold Dwayne before he died.
That dual tragedy, the loss of a child combined with the mother's physical inability to share those final moments, or even just to participate in the immediate grief.
It just multiplies the emotional strain on everyone.
It really does. The crisis physically and emotionally tears the family in two, right at the core of the holiday.
And that division, it completely defined their Christmas morning. With Roberta confined to the hospital, the rest of the family had to somehow manage.
A grief in the normal routine of Christmas.
Exactly. Eugene, along with his mother, Winnie, and his grandmother, Josie, they were left to celebrate Christmas morning with their toddler, Marcia.
Imagine trying to navigate that. The simple demands of a 1.5-year-old on Christmas. The excitement, the gifts.
All while managing this profound grief over the death of one twin and the acute medical worry for the surviving twin, David.
It must have been an absolute emotional and logistical fog.
And at the same time, the practical, painful demands of death. They don't pause for a holiday.
No, they don't.
So amidst the hospital visits and the attempts at celebration, the family had to organize the burial.
Sometime on the 24th or 25th, arrangements were made to enter Dwayne in the family plot. The service was set for the 26th.
Just handling those logistics, coordinating with an undertaker, making all these decisions while the world around you is celebrating. It's an incredible weight.
And here we see that heartbreaking pattern of separation repeat itself.
Right. Roberta was still in the hospital on the 26th.
So she couldn't attend the burial of her own son.
The first, most profound stages of their family tragedy were processed entirely without the mother present.
It truly speaks volumes about the necessary division of labor in a crisis like this. But the separation didn't end with the burial.
Here's where it gets really interesting.
In fact, the geographical separation was only just beginning.
The necessity of life back home started to creep in. Eugene had a job, responsibilities.
He had to get back to Emporia. He couldn't stay in Dodge City forever.
And that decision, it marks the definitive beginning of this long-term separation. Roberta, she eventually recovered enough to travel.
So she and Marcia went back by train to Emporia.
But they couldn't take David.
That is the essential, brutal detail of this entire story.
It is. The surviving twin, David, had to be left behind in the hospital in Dodge City. He was far too fragile to travel.
He required specialized, continuous medical care that, well, you couldn't replicate it outside the hospital, especially not with the limitations of winter travel back then.
So now the parents are 2 cities away. They have to return to their jobs, their routine.
While their newborn son, a premature survivor, is still in the hospital hours away by rail.
The physical space between them must have been just an immense emotional burden.
And this is where the profound strength and dedication of that extended family support network comes into such clear focus.
We have to talk about Winnie Crawford, Eugene's mother,
Yes.
because her commitment is it's truly extraordinary.
Winnie stepped into that immense void. For the next 6 weeks, she provided this unwavering, dedicated presence.
The source material is remarkably clear on this. She visited David in the hospital every single day.
Let's truly sit with that for a moment.
Yeah.
6 weeks is 42 consecutive days of travel and care.
Think about the logistics in a time without modern highways or easy communication.
It's not a casual visit. Depending on the distance from her home to Trinity Hospital, this represents sustained daily travel.
An intense emotional investment, the physical commitment to be there day after day for this vulnerable infant who is miles from his parents.
This kind of sustained commitment, it's the operational glue that holds a family like this together during a medical crisis. For 42 days, Winnie was that crucial physical link.
She wasn't just checking on David.
No, she was providing that constant family presence, which is so vital for a premature baby's development. And she was the real-time communication channel, relaying all these little details back to Eugene or Roberta in Emporia.
It really speaks volumes to the burden of responsibility that shifted entirely to the extended family.
It does.
Well, Eugene was working to maintain, economic stability, and Roberta was focused on her recovery and on Marcia.
Winnie managed the relentless daily uncertainty and the hopes right at David's bedside.
It highlights a crucial, often unspoken part of these historical crises.
The necessary gender division of labor. Right?
Exactly. Eugene took on the economic role, managing work across cities. Roberta was focused on recovery and mothering Marcia.
But it was Winnie who undertook the sustained physical, emotional, and logistical labor of caregiving for the fragile survivor. She bridged that physical distance for almost 2 whole months.
That 6 weeks must have felt like a lifetime to Eugene and Roberta.
I can't imagine.
The constant worry, the reliance on daily updates from Winnie. It's a testament to the power of that family network that David not only survived, but thrived.
And that 6 weeks of separation finally ended. And with a happy, memorable resolution, which cements this whole family saga into a specific date.
It did. The sources confirm that David was finally deemed strong enough to travel.
And the successful conclusion of the separation occurred when he was taken by train to Emporia on Valentine's Day.
What a beautiful delayed reunion for the family.
And so fittingly, Winnie Crawford was the one who personally delivered David.
Of course she was.
After 6 weeks of daily hospital visits, Winnie made that final train journey, reuniting David with his parents, completing that separation arc, and finally bringing the immediate family back together under one roof.
So if we quickly summarize that intense arc, a confident journey in December, a premature delivery on the 23rd.
A tragedy and a burial during Christmas week.
Followed by 42 days of separation and daily visits by the grandmother.
All culminating in a beautiful delayed reunion on February 14th.
The whole story is just defined by endurance. So what does this all mean?
I think the key insight from these sources is the extraordinary and an essential logistical effort required by that extended family.
Especially Winnie.
Especially Winnie. To manage this cascading crisis, this wasn't just about managing grief. It was managing a premature birth, a burial on a major holiday, and the subsequent daily nursing, monitoring, and complex cross-city transport.
This microhistory provides such a clear window into how medical crises were handled before modern infrastructure made things easier.
Exactly. Before modern communication, modern transport logistics.
The immediate family couldn't sustain that necessary care themselves from a distance, and the extended family, specifically that daily commitment from Winnie, became the essential lifeline.
The primary support system that ensured the survival of David.
It reveals the profound, often invisible cost borne by secondary caregivers in these times of crisis.
Winnie's sacrifice was the factor that allowed Eugene and Roberta to recover, to stabilize, to return to work, while still ensuring their son received family love and attention during those most critical first months.
And here is a final thought for you to carry forward, building on the details of this family's unexpected journey. Consider the difference in the immediate experience of the twins, David and Dwayne. They shared the same birthday, but their paths were so tragically divergent. David survived only because of the immense, unsustainable effort of one dedicated family member.
Yeah.
What unspoken cost, beyond the immediate tragedy, did that single train journey in December ultimately impose on the family unit, and specifically on Winnie Crawford, who gave 2 months of her life to ensure a baby came home?
That's something for you to mull over.